Good morning and welcome to Summit. Okay, so like we do, we greet everyone now. Happy New Month. Hope you are happy to see this new month. I am happy to see this new month, the last month in the year 2022. It's really been a very jolly ride going through the year 2022. My name is Jumoke Michaels. You're welcome again to our program Summit, coming to you live from our studios in Lagos. Banji, good morning.
Okay, it's great to be here and riding on the back of your intro. There's still a lot that can happen before this year comes to an end.
Yes.
30, we are on the 5th day now.
Yeah.
26 more days to go. More great things can still happen to you in the year 2022. So no, there shouldn't be any hope lost yet. And for those who are already making it, please ensure that you actually consolidate on the great things that have happened since the beginning of this year. And for those who have had it rough, they say there's light at the end of the tunnel. I believe a lot of great things can still happen to your life. I'm very optimistic that I'll clinch great things before 2023. My name is Banji Busari. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, like we always do, we are still in the electioneering period in Nigeria. We're having different people from different parties coming on the program to talk about their agenda for the people. And today is no different. We have someone who is gunning for the governorship seat in Lagos State on the program today. Before I mention his name, let me just give you a brief on this person we are interviewing this morning. He's the Labour Party gubernatorial candidate for Lagos State. He's an architect, he's a public policy expert. In 2019 election, he emerged as the PDP senatorial candidate representing Lagos West, and he's also a social activist. He also contested for the position of chairman Ikeja local government area on the platform of Kowa Party some time ago. On the program today, that's just a brief one. I know I told you it's a brief. It's a very brief one on this person this morning. Let's welcome to the program architect Gbadebo Rhodes Vivo. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
To have you on the
I'm happy
program.
to be here. Good morning.
If I said I should read everything, it would take up the entire time of the program.
Very,
so that brief,
very
that brief is just
credentials.
okay. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So it's our pleasure to have you. And the first question to Make that comes to me in my mind is, so 4 years ago, you were on the ticket of PDP as a senatorial candidate. Today, you're on the ticket of Labour Party as a gubernatorial candidate. Talking ideologically now, would you say this move from PDP to Labour was ideologically motivated?
Yes, I can say that, and I can also say it was practically motivated as well. You see, in our whole politics, especially in Lagos, they say politics is local, right? There's an opposition against the status quo, against the ruling party, right? And everything outside of the ruling party is in opposition to that. So ideologically, right, it is consistent. If you say that, okay, you move from PDP to Labour Party, why? What were the reasons? There were practical reasons, right? So we
beyond ideology.
Beyond ideology, because ideology and practicality must work together, right? Ideas are supposed to be the foundation that allows you chart a course, but there must be the charting of the course, right? It cannot be only ideology alone. Right? If your ideology does not match with the reality on ground, then what's the point? Right? So ideology and practicality made me move from the PDP to the Labour Party.
Okay, fine. So let's look at, since you chose the part of practicality, let me be a bit more practical now. Because for an average viewer at home, they are more interested in what comes to them. Yes, if it's ideologically and practically motivated. Let's come down to the issue of manifesto. What is Labour Party actually offering as different from what PDP is offering to the people of Lagos
so
State?
Many things. So the Labour Party and the candidates that have emerged on the Labour Party are pushing an idea of servant leadership, where we are not looking to buy our way into office. We are not looking to intimidate or suppress our way into office. We are looking to come into office as servant leaders. This automatically means that you will not have a situation, so let us break it down to how it will affect the lives of people. Those people in the market that are paying multiple taxes, one man is coming, I don't want to use the word agbero, because these are people that have not been given an alternative means to earn a living. The state government has empowered them to be doing these things they are doing. But you will not have a situation where people will be coming to collect different money from you, not caring how you are surviving. A situation where monkey they walk, baboon they chop. Similar thing with the bus drivers. That will no longer be the situation. We are a party that cares about the people. Even in our logo, you see father, mother, child. We are about the people. We are about the betterment of the life of people. They say when 2 or 3 are gathered together, that's where God is. God is with us. And more than anything, you have a situation where you have a party and the people that are contesting, they have love for people. They have empathy. They want to run a government that will make the people's lives better. Whether it is you will no longer sit down in traffic for 4 hours to get to work every morning, or we will repair our roads and make sure that we have proper local government chairmen that can actually walk our inner roads. I was going to Ojo yesterday from the island, and I passed through Igomu, and there was a trailer that had fallen to the side and covered 90% of the road. All the tires had come out. Why? The roads are so bad. I was thinking inside myself, tomorrow morning, I don't want to imagine the kind of traffic that will be on this road. Why? Because the roads are so bad. But they say Lagos is working. From there, I entered into Alimosho and then went to Ojo. All the inner roads are just looking bad. And they've had the opportunity to run this thing for 20 plus years. So back to your question, what is different? We are going to have a situation where we have servant leaders, people that all they are interested about is working to make the people's lives better. That is the difference, and that is what our party is bringing.
All right, you are vying for this office of Lagos State Governor. Let's still know a bit about you.
Okay.
Before we go further into the details, what makes you qualified?
Yes.
For this office?
So I am an architect by profession. I tell people that we've had lawyers as governors, we have accountants as governors. Lawyers made better laws. Accountants found ways to increase taxes and raise more taxes. Let's have an architect that can design and build a Lagos that works for all of us. I'm an architect. I graduated from the best school in the world, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. After that, I worked with the American government. I've worked with the Chinese government on massive urban planning projects. I've also gone, and when I went into politics, I went back to school, to University of Lagos, to get a master's in research and public policy. So I understand that in policy making, you don't sit down somewhere and make policy for people. You go and work with them, you talk to them, you carry them along as stakeholders, and you make policy with people. In addition to that, I don't come with any baggage of corruption, or that I have been corrupted or used to maintain the status quo of everything we are complaining about. So you know that when you put me in office, I am here to work for you. I'm not here to account to any big man in one corner that's telling me that I should take 15% of this money that's coming to the state to give to them. Right? All the resources of Lagos State will be put to work for the people of Lagos State. I come from the Rosevival family of Lagos. We're an indigenous Lagos family. We produce the second judge in Nigeria.
Which part of Lagos?
Isaleku. And my family house we gave the land to the government to build the city hall. That's where my family house used to be. In fact, my family rented the first ever property that they wanted to use for government during General Body Loan. Family also produced the first black person that was admitted into public policy making in government, in Governor Bodilon's government, Justice S.B. Rhodes. And since then, produced judges in every generation. The last one just retired from the Supreme Court. I'm saying all this so that you ask, what am I bringing to the table? A deep love for Lagos, a deep understanding of the history of Lagos, a desire to take Lagos back to the glory days when by 1966, Lagos was ranked as one of the best cities in the world. But some people will tell you that they designed and created the Lagos that we are. My grandfathers and grandfathers of them have been living in this Lagos. There was a time they opened their tap, water is coming out. There was a time where Darocha was pumping water from Iju to Lagos Island. This was in the 20s. So it is not by mistake that they called Lagos the center of excellence. Not excellence, the center. As if there's excellence, the center of it is Lagos. That's what we were. That's what I'm trying to restore. On the other side, my mother is from Abia State. So I have the opportunity to see what brings us together than what separates us. These are all the things I'm bringing to the table. A Lagos that work for everybody. The Hausa man in Gomu that are selling metal spare parts, that they are overtaxing him and threatening him to lock his shop if he does not come out. The woman, the Yoruba woman in Isaleko, that she's just doing POS work, but they are harassing her. They are just trying to take money from her. They don't care how she's going to pay her child's school fees. Or the people in Balogun market that they are paying so much money to one Iyaloja, but they cannot account for what this money is for. And they are struggling with their 2-3 children. There's no creche in the school to say, I'm paying tax, so this is the benefit of my tax. I can put my children in a place where they can look after them. I'm bringing to the table a Lagos that will care about everything that you are going through. The mothers that cannot, because they divorce them, they don't have the mental capacity to get their children and put them in school. We have 2 million children out of school. The solution is not that we'll create free education. The solution is how do you carry everybody along to make sure those children go back into school. So, integrity, no corruption baggage, high intellectual capacity, and a love for the people of Lagos.
Okay, still riding on the back of that question, for you to actually ascend to the position of the first man in Lagos State, I want to presume that you fully understand, one, the challenges that Lagos has, the uniqueness of Lagos in terms of challenges, and then when you talk about the prospects, what prospects does Lagos have that may actually assist you to be able to deliver on this mandate on this task you have set for yourself. How much understanding do you have of Lagos State in terms of the challenges and the prospects?
You see, so 2 things that give me fantastic understanding of the challenges of Lagos. One, I'm an architect. So I look at things in terms of planning and systems. So I will tell you that our education problem, you cannot just build school or train teachers. You have to bring in the mothers of these children. You have to create a policy that joins it so that you will have better uptake. You see, Lagos State currently, one of the challenges is that it is run as a tokenist state. Tokenist means that it's when it's close to election, you'll be hearing about this thing that they are doing. Oh, we have done this health insurance. We have done this road. We have done this thing. But for 3 years before that, there was nothing being done. So they just do things to make the headlines. So I'm looking for a deeper, result-oriented approach to the problems that we have in Lagos. So we can talk about the problems and the challenges, but there are so many opportunities. Like I said, Lagos was the center of excellence. Lagos can be the home of technology in terms of, this new technology, data, coding, all of that. It already is starting to become, but it can become even more. It can become the tourist capital for art and culture in Africa. My grandfather, they used to go to Badagry every weekend to go to the beach. Nobody can go there anymore because of the road now. At this point, you should have built train systems that connect you directly from Ikeja, Marina, or to Badagry. From Ikorodu. There should be ways that we are connecting Lagos, right? These things in the last 23 years has not been done. So when we talk about challenges, Lagos State by itself, because of the population, the fact that it is a center of commerce, it has an ability to be feasible for a lot of projects because there is demand. It's not, for instance, like a state. Let's take any state in Nigeria that maybe has only 1.5 million people. That by the time you say you want to do train, you don't have that many people that will get on the train. Lagos State, we are looking for, we are undersupplied, right? You have a situation where, we're talking before we came on this show, that fella sang 45 people sitting, 90 people standing. We talk about BRT lane, we talk about BRT buses, but we still don't have enough BRT buses. But that's the challenge. But we have a lot of people that want to use BRT bus, right? So why don't they open it up? So that if you have a BRT bus that meets certain conditions.
Are you not scared that the roads are already congested to have more of these BRT buses on the roads?
No, we have a BRT lane. A BRT can barely take 40 people. It's barely taking up to approximately between 7 to 9% of the population that need to move in Lagos State, if my memory serves me right. So we need more buses. In having more buses and creating bus stops that are conducive, where you have agberos and touts no longer being the people that are running things, so that a gentleman that is going to work and say he's just going to get on the bus and come down in Marina and get to his office, right? Then you start to have fewer cars on the road. That is the ultimate agenda. That's the ultimate solution, to reduce the number of cars on our roads. And also to improve the quality of the cars on our roads, right? So those are solutions to some of these challenges you are talking about.
Now, a couple of years ago, about a decade or thereabout, governance in Lagos State was almost a kind of standard. The template was being copied by some other governors who came into Lagos to understudy how Lagos was working, and Lagosians were getting what you may call dividends of democracy. Irrespective of the parties, we saw it, how governors from other states came to Lagos State. Are you saying that you spoke about the rail line, even the BRT lane that you spoke about? These are some of the achievements of this APC government since 1999. Are you saying that you have not seen those things that you are planning to do, even on ground as we speak?
People come to Lagos to look at what they do to generate revenue. Lagos State is run for profit. It's not run for the people. And you find that a lot of people are looking, you are generating this big money. How are you doing it? That's what they want to come and see. It's not about this money you are generating. How have you impacted the lives of so many young children? How did you reduce the number of children out of school? How are you ensuring that there is proper health care and people have access to health care? That's not what they are coming to answer. If you check it, they are not coming to learn, these are your inner roads in Alimosho and Agege and Mushin. How were you able to do it at this price that was so cheap? That was so much cheaper than how they are doing roads in Ghana or Kenya. How are you doing it? So you are delivering so much goodness to your people in such a quick time. That's not what they are coming to check. They are coming to check, how are you generating your IGR? How are you making all this money so that we can make the same amount of money? So, sir, when you see a state run for profit, they will do things because they need to generate money. But we need to move from that to a state run for the people. Their quality of life, the betterment of their life. You see, if you want to know when a state is being run for profit, just look at how fast it takes to implement a project. Then look at how fast it takes for the people to start to use it. If you are focused on people using something, you will see quickly. You'll be trying to get them to start using it for it to start working. But in Lagos State, you see a project, it looks like it has been finished, but for 1 year, 2 years, nobody is using it.
Okay, let's break down some of this vision that you have for Lagos State. For somebody who is vying for number 1 seat in Lagos State, what is your action plan specifically? In what ways do you think this will translate into better living standard for Lagosians?
Okay.
Yes.
So when we have done our research and in talking to people and going out there, they identified 3 major problems. First, so I'll talk about that. They will now layer the extra things on top. The first problem is traffic and transportation. The bad roads and the flooding. All these things tied together. right? Because if the road network is good and the proper transportation, you have dredged your waterways and everything, there will be no flooding. If the road network is good, then you will not have this traffic situation that we're having. And then if you have completed your train rail lines, you also reduce the number of cars on the road and improve on your traffic situation. So for us, our first line of action, one, we are going to make our accounting, our contracting, our procurement system transparent so that the resources we have, right, we can say that this is the true price of this thing. Since 1999, we have been building roads in this Lagos at 4 times the price of what it should be built. 4 times the World Bank benchmark price. 4 times the price as it takes to do in other African countries that have similar challenges. That means that for that one road, we could have had 3. For that one ramp, that bridge, that one, we could have had 3 or 4. So in creating this system, everybody must now be open and transparent and honest, and it must start from the top. That's why I say that's the first layer. The second thing we are going to do is we are going to set a benchmark for the quality, the materials, and the lifespan of roads in Lagos State. That means that it becomes illegal for you to do a road and then that road is now washed away in 6 months. That's the problem with all our inner roads. They will do it today. By next year, you see it has washed away, there is no more road. And that is what we need to do to change. We need to set a benchmark. This is the quality the road must meet. This is the lifespan that road must meet. And as a contractor, you must sign up to that. Thirdly, we must identify and create a system that repairs potholes in our roads very, very quickly. Right? So we are going to use innovative materials. There are things called tested concrete, because that pothole is showing you where water is accumulating and is washed away. We use innovative materials to make sure that we are doing this work very quickly so potholes don't stay on our road, because it causes so many problems. We are going to open the BRT lane to private and innovative companies. The way you have Uber, if you have a car, that they will set the requirements and standards. Once you meet it, you can start participating in Uber. That's the same thing we are going to do with our BRT lane. We are going to open it up. So if you have a bus that can carry 50 people and it meets a certain quality, you register and you can operate on that sector. So we are not going to politicize it anymore. It's going to be for people to be able to get involved in, so that we can make up for the deficit we have in number of buses that we have. We are going to dredge our waterways for the actual price that it should be done, and then put embankments so that we reduce flooding, like what is happening in Sherry, where the Ogun River is already, like 3 weeks ago, people were walking around between bushes. They started moving out of their house. So we want a situation where we dredge our water so, that flooding reduces. We have embankment, then we can now start to use proper ferries. Not these small boats that carrying 10, 20 people that can capsize, because that's what people are afraid of. They're afraid if they enter the boat, something can happen on the water and they will die. But if you have a big ferry, that should not be your worry. So during Alhaji on this time, there were ferries in Lagos State. We need to get back to that, so that when you are coming from Ikorodu to the island, you can be on a proper ferry. You can drive your car onto the ferry. That's where we need to get to at Lagos State. So that is transportation that I've talked about. The next is security. People are very insecure in Lagos. When they are moving in the morning, when they want to get bus, when they want to come back from their work, when they want to come back from market, they are worried that someone might snatch their things, steal from them, or harass them. So this Agbero situation that we have in Lagos State, we need to solve it. It has to go. We are going to work with those young men that their lives are wasting away. They are just standing on the corner and taking from people. We are going to work with them as stakeholders and give them the skills that they need for employability. We will also partner with the private sector and give them incentives to set up manufacturing, processing, right? And then we'll give them incentives to hire these people, so that you reduce your taxes as a company if you hire these people that have gone through this program. So that in 3 years, in 2 years' time, this menace of having young men just hitting cars, hitting keke and peps, raising 120 billion at the end of every year. But even the young men that are doing all these things, if their leg breaks today, there's no health insurance. If they cannot walk tomorrow and chase cars, they're finished, they don't have anything to eat. But that whole system is raising 120 billion naira every year. That is not acceptable. So we'll automate all those systems and give these young people an alternative way of earning a living. That's where Lagos can start to be safer.
You've spoken about transportation, spoken about
security.
Security. How? The security aspect is the one that actually interests me.
So that's what I'm
How
telling
do you
you.
intend
How
to?
like the funding and
The security that I've told you, we create, okay, let me summarize it. We create an employability skill program for all these young men that are on the road, because insecurity is not just me bringing a gun or knife to you. It is you walking on the road and I'm harassing you. So we are reducing harassment. We're going to work with all the communities in Lagos State to gather information informally. There are communities where if you are in Ijora and someone steals your phone, there are places you can go and talk to people and they'll bring that phone back for you. We must work with all these communities and create a network of information that is going to the local government. So we are going to empower our local government so they can gather all this data. Then we are going to have a ring of surveillance, digital gathering, digital monitoring, so that if anything, if you do something in Lagos Island, there's a camera that can see and a camera that can follow you to find you. We need that set up in a place like Lagos State. And all of this is going tied into what we call the Commonwealth of Lagos. That gives you benefits through access to affordable housing, access to healthcare insurance, access to student loans for your children. All these things require you to register. Part of the registration is getting your biometrics. So pictures that will be able to allow scanners to be able to see you. So this is how we are going to have a technological means of surveillance, and then we're also going to have an informal means of surveillance that ties into all the communities in Lagos State. And we're also going to work with the police. Like what is currently being done, I have to acknowledge that the state, gives them money to buy equipment, buy cars, everything. We'll continue to do that and we'll take it to an even higher level, right? We're going to equip the police even more and have a very strong working relationship with them. And we are also going to fight for state policing. We are going to keep advocating for state policing.
all right. You are a beneficiary of the Not Too Young to Run bill.
Yes.
All right, and recently we had the statistics that 133 million Nigerians are actually living
In multidimensional
in
poverty.
Now, I know that in Lagos, most of these agboros you're talking about, they are not, like you said, if you take that running after vehicles and all that, they really don't have any other means of livelihood.
Yes.
Now, what's your plan for youth empowerment and employment
Yeah.
for Lagos State?
So I talked about that, but let me be very specific about it now. So there are two sets of youth. There are youth that will be interested in processing, in work with their hands, craftsmanship, craftsmen. Then there are youth that will be interested in technology. Right? For instance, you might not be aware, but Badagry has some of the most youths that are sitting there in front of their laptop doing scams. But these young men, you can bring them in and teach them skills to code Python. There's something called in-demand jobs in the world, where there are skills that are required by companies nationally, globally. So you're not even looking at Lagos or Nigeria anymore to get a job. You just get this skill. We open up the portal for you to be able to get those jobs.
Are you sure it won't be abused?
No, it should not be abused. Do you know why? Because in-demand jobs are jobs that are demanded. See, the whole world is going digital to another level, and they need people to do this work. And if you are getting somebody in Nigeria where 1,000 naira, how much is it now, Seth? I don't even know. 700 naira is $1, 800 naira is $1. We don't know. But if you are now paying that person $1,000, that's almost 1 million naira a month. The people that went to school for 5 years, they are not earning that currently in Nigeria. That's the world we are living in. And we have so many youth that are also technology savvy. They're on their phone all day, they're on computer doing whatever. Let us equip them and push them out to get these jobs from the global economy. And this is very possible. In India, they are doing it. They are doing it. Their young men are doing technological jobs. That's why now you can find that it's an Indian man that's in charge of Microsoft. It's an Indian man that is in charge of Apple. Because they embrace these things and they equip their young people to get into technology. And that is the way of the future. So those are the two ways we are going to address this youth situation. We're also going to have huge rehabilitation centers. and rehabilitation networks. We are not going to look at people that are using drugs as criminals and just lock them up. We would invest in rehabilitating them, right? So that we can now create a new type of culture among our youth, right? And constant engagement. So like I said, we are going to do policy with them, not for them. It's going to be a very humanistic government. That's what we are bringing.
A lot of these youths are actually on the social media. Some of them are out there and also praying and wishing for, of course, greater Nigeria, either in Lagos State or elsewhere.
Yeah.
What efforts have you made in terms of, I know the PVC has been an issue. What efforts have you made in ensuring that your people, these people that you have great plans for, that they are in possession of PVC, to actually bring your vision that's of becoming Lagos State into a reality?
So from 2019, I founded the Our Lagos movement and group, and all they've been doing is, educating young people and people in general on the need to participate in elections, to get involved, to not leave politics to just the politician. We set up registration centers all over Lagos, in Alimosho, in Mushi, in Ikeja. You see people with our Lagos t-shirt, our Lagos face cap, and we're helping people register. And they print it for them, and then they go to INEC, and then they finish the registration process. Some of them even also went to go and work with INEC to facilitate this registration process. And up to now, what we are still doing is encouraging people that you have registered, make sure you go and collect this thing. Unfortunately, there's a lot of games that are being played currently. You see, INEC is not giving certain people that come from a certain part of Nigeria their voters card. They say it's not available. That? Oh yes, it has been happening. Places like Ojo, places like Surulere. There was a time where you might have heard of it in Surulere. They were doing this voter awareness, voter registration at a church, and then some people just came and disrupted and scattered the whole place. So I'm using this opportunity to appeal to INEC that they must do the needful, right? Power is not a permanent thing, and it's important that the people's voices are heard, because the reason why people vote every 4 years is to let off the frustration and the steam, and that's how peace reigns, right? People, by the second year, they feel, you know what, in 2 years' time, I'll vote this person out, or I'll keep them in. Don't deny people that opportunity, because this is what leads to instability, unrest, and a culture and a community that does not have peace. Because where there is no justice, there cannot be peace.
All right. So INEC has opened a 1 month window.
Yes, from December 12th
to January.
Yes,
for people to go collect their PVCs. What are you going to do in that regard?
Oh, we are encouraging people. We are going to support as much as we can. Some people might not have money for transport to get to the INEC office. We are going to come in to help in that situation, and we're just going to keep putting the message out there, because only 1 month. 1 month is not a long time, and we have a phone line set up and an online portal where if you go to INEC and you have receipt of your registration and they tell you your voter's card is not ready, you can complain. So that we'll have a proper comprehensive petition to put against the EOs in each of those local governments that have denied people a phone number and a portal. I'm going to announce this on my social media this week.
Yeah, let's move ahead now and talk about the healthcare. There was a time in this state where we had just a couple of, maybe about 3 general hospitals in the entire state. As we speak today, almost every local government has a general hospital that you can work that. So there's a greater access to healthcare services and all that. What are your plans to ensure that maternal mortality, child mortality, and these other problems that are actually confronting us in the health sector are actually eliminated completely if you get the power?
Sir. So you know what I said when I started, that Lagos is run as a tokenist.
No, I'm saying there has been an improvement.
Yes,
we have general hospitals all over the place now. But in terms of
I think last I checked, I know that there are about 360 something primary healthcare centers, and I know that there are about 3 or 4 general hospitals and 1 tertiary institution. right? I'm
In
talking about
Lagos State?
public in Lagos State.
No, more than 4
Because
general
you see,
hospitals.
when we talk about a general hospital, there are certain requirements that I must meet. But for me, it's not about, it's about the quality of care that you get in there. I know since I got into politics, I know people that have gone to hospitals and they tell them that they should go home, that there is no bed for them, or the doctors don't want to treat them, or they must pay a certain amount of money before they are treated. The quality of our healthcare here is very poor. We spend about 4,000 plus naira per capita on healthcare. That's very poor. It needs to be increased or at least doubled. We have a situation where people, they say they are doing healthcare insurance. Do you have healthcare insurance, madam? No. Do you have healthcare insurance?
Not yet.
But they say they are doing
But it's available. It's a question of choice.
Sir. When people say people need healthcare insurance, they do. There is no negotiation you ask that you explain what healthcare insurance is to them, and they say they don't want. Me, as part of my campaign, I've done micro healthcare insurance for almost 50,000 negotiations. It cost me just 500 naira. But that card, you can use it for a month and get treatment of up to 5,000 naira. Right? You can call a doctor if you are not feeling well. You can go to a partnering chemist and get drugs from them. So small me, I'm doing that. Government should be able to do something that people will take it up if the government truly cares about the people. You should not have to go, it should not be difficult. Because when you want to collect your money from me, is it difficult for them? It's not difficult. So if it's not difficult for them to collect money, it should not be difficult for them to give you access to health insurance. So what I am going to do is I'm going to invest heavily in our healthcare insurance and make it accessible to people. We are going to have outlets for people to be able to get it the way we used to be able to recharge our phone card before. Then I'm going to invest heavily in training our nurses and recruiting support staff for our doctors, because currently our doctors are overworked. When you look at the ratio of doctor to patients versus the ratio of what UNESCO says doctor to patients be, I think those numbers, I'll remember the numbers, I don't want to say the wrong number now. You see that there's a huge disparity. Anybody can go and check it. So we need to improve, because we also have an issue, because all our doctors are leaving. That's a major challenge. Because even if we say our Lagos
State, that's beyond the Lagos State government.
That's what I'm saying. I'm acknowledging that because doctors are in high demand in Europe, they're in high demand in America, they're in high demand in Asia. And with our currency, if they're paying just $2,000, it's a whole lot of money that you tell any doctor to ignore that. But we can tie them in with long-term benefits. Whether it's as a doctor, you still like you get this land, or you get on the list to get this house. There are things you can do to show appreciation for them that will make them say, and you can also increase their support staff, because it's not doctor that needs to do everything. Train people, head hunts in all the universities for the brightest minds and bring them in to Lagos State, because that's what Europe and Britain are doing to us. They're looking at our best doctors and they're giving them visa to come to them. We also have to be proactive, because 10% of the population of Nigeria are living in Lagos State. We must go around, okay, this one, give them scholarship, bring them into our healthcare system, create a relationship that ties them into the system, right? And lastly, improve on our healthcare centers, the equipment that they have, and also build more tertiary institutions. We should locate a proper tertiary institution in the Badagry axis, another one in the Ikorodu axis, right?
We have a Lagos State Polytechnic. We also
that's
have
Lagos
that's
Central.
just been upgraded now.
Yes, that's why I say we need more. We can be the hub of medical tourism. Badagry axis, I say specifically so that other parts of West Africa can be coming to get treatment there. Why are all our people traveling? They say they've built a new Lagos, but they are traveling for injection.
All right. Everybody see Lagos as a role model city. Everywhere around, at least Nigeria, Lagos is like the role model. Okay, so let's look at education in Lagos. What's your blueprint for education? What's your action plan for education? What are the urgent emergency areas of education in Lagos that must have intervention?
Yes. So let me first start with what you said about blueprints. You see, Lagos has a very unfair advantage to other states. Lagos State was the capital of Nigeria not just the government capital, it was also the commercial capital. And this commercial capital did not just start with independence. So from time, since the 1800s, the people that have lived
And
in
you just
Lagos,
spoke about the population of Lagos State, that Lagos has 10% of the entire population.
and those,
so how does that
that is why we have the IGR that we have. We cannot be saying we have this big IGR, but be hating the source of the IGR. You cannot pick and choose. If you don't want these people here, then don't collect their money. That's where the IGR comes from. That's where money comes from. But back to your question about education. You see, we have over about 1,009 schools in Lagos State. Only 300 have really benefited from some of these initiatives that Lagos State has done, which is innovation. I think is Eco Initiative, Eco Excel, I believe, was a program that they're supposed to use to equalize education. That needs to, we need more coverage, at least 80% coverage. 30% coverage is failed.
Are you saying that that initiative is good?
It is good.
Expansion.
It is good, but first of all, we must understand something. See, the blue line is good, but it took 23 years to do it. The red line that the federal government did, because the federal government that laid the tracks. Federal government is building the stations. They've bought carriages, so they are claiming that they did it. But you see the timing that was done compared to almost 20-something years to do 16 kilometers of rail. When in their plan, they say we need 160 kilometers of rail to make Lagos work. So yes, that initiative is good, but it is at 30% coverage. That's a failure anyway. And even more so, the amount of years it took to do that, the amount of policy flip-flops, policy inconsistency that it took to do that. These are things why Lagos State in its delivery is mediocre. Now, I still say it again. It is a fallacy to compare Lagos State to other states in Nigeria. I'm saying that as far back as 1966, Lagos State is being compared with London. Lagos State is on a list of the best cities in the world. As far back as 1966. That was not the case for Ibadan. Ibadan was not on the list. Akwa Ibom was not on the list. So, Lagos should be compared to Kigali, to Johannesburg. If you don't even want to go outside of Africa, that is where Lagos. Excellence is not cheap. Excellence is the height of performance. And that's what Lagos State is supposed to be.
Okay, let's move to the area of, when you talk about population, you also relate it with how do people in terms of housing.
Yes.
Lagos has always had that challenge, like every other part of this country. In terms of housing, Jumoke spoke about blueprints. What's your blueprint for housing?
Okay, so
because Lagos is projected to have a population of 50 million
even more
by 2050. So what's your plan to actually meet up?
Okay, so firstly, we must have a decentralized development, urban planning in Lagos State. Lagos is too centralized. You see a lot of slums are being created close to where there is business, close to where people are going to work. And that's where the rail comes in. And having multiple rail lines. And that's why it's so important. Because by the time you have fast-moving rail, you can now get to work from Ikorodu in 35 minutes. That way, it now becomes a lot more feasible to do developments in Ikorodu, to do developments in Badagry, in Ojo. So that it's not just Lagos Central, that everybody is coming to. Look at Third Mainland Bridge now. On my way coming here, look at, even at what time, there's still gridlock traffic. Right? But if that's not the case, companies can also now set up in other parts of Lagos State. Because rail now allows for faster connection. So that is very important. Now, on top of that, once that has opened up and unlocked the even developments in Lagos State, we are now going to do things like social housing fund, a social housing fund where all the prime development, all the monies that we make from all these expensive developments, we are going to put it into creating affordable housing. But not affordable housing that they were asking affordable to who? Multi-income housing that ties into how much you yourself you are earning. Right? We're also going to create land rights for people that own land, right? So that they can now have papers, so they can approach developers to do more development. We'll also start to give micro rights. So for instance, you can now have land right to a flat that you own in a building. That way we improve the mortgage and finance sector. As a government, every policy we are going to do is to enable the development of property, because we have almost a 2 million to 3 million housing deficit. The state government alone cannot do it. We will do a lot and do it transparently, so that we've done affordable housing. We are not going to sell it amongst ourselves or sell it among civil servants. No, there'll be transparent lottery. So you enter the lottery, you win, you get it, but you cannot sell it.
But this government has also been doing that. Of
They
course,
are doing
lottery.
It's been lottery.
Common Nigerians have been winning.
They've said so.
Okay.
They've said so. But there are many things that they say does not translating to the reality on ground. Because people will tell you that they try to enter lottery, the thing has already been sold. So from the beginning, it must be transparent. You see, you cannot just run government to make news headlines, so people think something is working, but in their hearts, they are not feeling it.
Okay, let's talk about your party now, Labour Party. To a lot of Nigerians, it's a party to watch out for at the national level and at the state level. But your party is also has come out to say funding it's an issue. How do you intend to actually, because Nigeria politics, particularly elections, it has a lot to do with how much you're actually spending. How do you intend to overcome the spending challenge?
A strong government in Lagos State.
Sir, you are right. Funding is a challenge. We don't have anybody that has bullion vans in our party. We don't have anybody that has stolen a huge amount of money from government in our party. We have hard-working people that believe that they want to be the change they wish to see. Our hope is in the people. His Excellency Peter Obi, last week, you see, he put out a call for campaign donations. Right? Our hope is in the people. And that is two sides. One side is to raise funding, to print face caps, t-shirts, posters, and all of that. The other side is for them to come out and not be expecting money for votes. And that is really what our hope is. That people are going to come out and they are going to vote their conscience. They are going to vote for a hope for a better Nigeria. Because they've seen where the selling of their votes has taken them to. And they want something different. So our hope is in the people. We are not trying to, I tell people, we are not trying to out Goliath. We are David in this battle.
So what has your party done differently to actually win the trust of these people that you are hoping to?
Well, first of all, candidates are going out, they are attending every debate, they are attending every TV show, talking and selling their mandates, selling their ideas. They are not dodging town hall meetings. So they are selling out their idea to get into the heart and mind of people. We are going door to door, talking to people. Right? We are doing that every time.
You do that in Lagos?
Yes, in Lagos State. In Lagos State, anywhere there's people gathering, we go there and address them. We talk to them. I was in Lagos Island yesterday. I was in Ojo yesterday. That's him yesterday. I was in 4 local governments. Talking to people, reaching out to people, selling the idea to them, giving them hope, showing them how we are the best people to deliver this new Nigeria, this new Lagos that they desperately need.
But at the time that a lot of people think you are actually getting serious with this, your party is bedeviled with internal wranglings and crises that people think may actually be your albatross come 2023. Yeah. You just removed your DG, the DG of your...
But you know, our national chairman came and said it's null and void.
Is that what?
Our national chairman came and said that is null and void. That whatever they did in Ogun State does not stand.
What could have actually warranted it in the first place?
Sir, you know, I am contesting in Lagos State. I
then
cannot
do you not think can rub off?
Every party has its challenges. In PDP, there are 5 governors that are saying they are not working for their presidential. In APC, there are governors that are already working with Atiku, right? There are governors in the APC that are coming out to say that, you know, we think Peter Obi is the better candidate.
But even in Lagos State, it took a long time before the dust settled in terms of your candidacy.
Yes, you know, because there
have you laid that to rest?
Oh yes, we have done that. We have laid it to rest, you know, and we are moving forward. But you see, sometimes it's the challenges that create the opportunity, right? It's the challenges, it's the, okay, this is the challenge, so that's where the opportunity came. If not, we would have had to wait for 4 years before we contested again. So, yes, you are right, there are challenges, but we are determined to get over those challenges, and we are going to bring everybody together. The most important thing is the people, because even if you remove a DG, but all the people say they are voting for somebody, that's not going to change anything. The people are going to go and vote. So now we are looking to INEC to give us a free and fair election, and we are reaching out to people and saying, don't lose hope. Deliver these candidates, let them work for you, and you'll be better off for it.
All right, I've looked around Lagos. I've not seen your posters anywhere. I've not seen your banners everywhere. Are you having any kind of challenge in pasting?
Billboards and all of that.
Are you have any challenge?
Or what's the what how are you delaying that?
Wait, there's a part of it that's strategic,
Okay.
because you also have to balance your resources with your you have to balance your how do they say it? You have to balance your expectations with your resources. But on my way, I saw many of my posters. I mean, at Alausa, I even saw some of my posters. But then, to be honest, there's a lot of covering. So you paste it, after that, you come and paste over it. You know, but that's all part of the politics. Well, I'm sure this month you are going to see a lot more billboards of mine. You see a lot more banners. You see a lot more of those things.
Campaign jingles and all
Oh,
of
my
that.
campaign jingles are on radio. They're on radio. I know that for a fact. They're on radio. And we're going to do a lot more as we get closer to the election. Because, you know, there's so much information out there. You want to make sure that when you put your information out, it stays relevant in people's minds as you get
Closer
towards the
to the
election.
election.
Yes. Because we don't have the kind of resources that these other people have.
Spend 1 minute talking to the people of Lagos, the people that you hoped will vote for you, as to why you're coming out and what difference you make in their lives.
Thank you so much for this privilege. My people, we have seen where this government of we has taken us for the last 20-something years. You know that you are not feeling government. You know the inner roads close to that place where you live. You know the traffic that you wake up to experience every morning. You know if you are in the market, how much they are collecting from you. They are not accounting for it. They are not using it. They are not telling you what they are using that money for. You know how people are harassing you in Lagos State. Let us put in Gbadebo revival in Lagos State to work and fight for you, to get you a good deal. Not that you be hearing, oh, this 1 billion has gone missing. They use this money for this thing. No, you'll be feeling it. This money, this our money. You'll be feeling it in your own life, in the life of your children in school. When your family or you go to hospital, you will see the difference. It will not be all talk. It will not be audio government. It will be real government that will be close to you. We will give you local government chairmen that have sense, local government chairmen that can be governor in 4 years' time, people that are visionary, people that want to work to make your life better in that your local government, and will make everything that is your benefit accessible to you. It will not be because you know somebody that knows somebody. You will easily be able to get it. We have tried many things. Please, let us try something different that can work for you. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you.
I'm sure they listen to you. Well, Jumake,
that's
unless
our
you have any
program
more,
today.
we
Yeah,
can.
no,
This
no,
is
no,
just.
we need to go now. Our time is up.
Our time is actually up.
I'm
Thank you very
grateful.
much
I
I
for
am
You're
very
your.
grateful.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
Making
much.
yourself
Thank you
available.
so
All
much.
right, so
Wish you the very best.
Thank you, sir.
So that's our program today. And well, I'm sure he has been able to appeal to your mind and your emotions, so you do the right thing. My name is Jumoke Michael. See you again on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Mine is Banji Busari. It's been a very exciting 1 hour. Just look forward to us again next Wednesday.
Husband killer, they outside. We dey waka.
Passion and ambition.
Look at the way my boss was looking at you.
I'm loving someone.
Incessant crime and deceit.
I tell you, don't death go worse past corridor. 400,000.
Intertwined in the corridors of power.
I know you killed GPT and set him up.
On and off the streets.
Hey, don't try to be smart with me. I'm an officer of the law.
Covenant. Showing weekdays at 8 p.m. WAT on Africa Magic Showcase.
Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
A popular saying in Nigeria goes that at the time a cockerel matures, it begins to crow to tell the world the time of day. This makes a crucial premise for all of us who have come of age, the youths, to lend our voices to a nation set to flip a new page, like the chance to vote and be voted for, whether being a youth, a woman, or a person with disability, and to do this in unity. And to anyone who hasn't been confident enough to exercise these rights, I beg, step out of the dark and come into the light. I mean, your participating in the electoral process is significant, a moment to behold, like that cock crowing in the morning to tell about a difference. No sit down look. Do something that will count today and be in tomorrow's books. The elections are coming. Register for and get your voter's card, your power card. As a citizen, and especially as a young lady or lad, lend your voice, use your voice, talk, say, and tell the world the time of day.